Well, George, looks like I'm a goner, doesn't it? Go ahead, nod your head. I already know it. Suppose I could say you were a bad doctor. If I was a mean sort, but we both know better. Kinda wish I had a bit longer to walk these roads. I was gonna slip a biscuit to my horse Maisie, or listen to those boys tell their tall tales about who they whipped in the War of Independence. You know, they probably never made it to more than a skirmish or two with the Redcoats in Virginia, but I love their stories just the same. I reckon it's time I wrote a will, George. I've been having dreams these last few nights, and I've had a vision of me teaching again. Don't laugh at a dying man now. I really do have an idea that will bring learning to children in these parts after I'm gone. You know I've missed teaching. Not the traveling from school to school or being broke all the time, but I sure miss making a difference with those little ones. Most of them have grown up now, and I see them in the store. When they count out their coins just right, they smile at me, remembering it was me who taught them math. It makes a man proud. So here's my idea. I want to leave the bulk of my estate to create a school. I will endow that school and its teachers' salaries. School wouldn't be inconsistent anymore, available one month and not the next. And our children, they'd learn from some of the best teachers because of this endowment. George, you know, most folks who take on the life of a teacher, they struggle a lot. Some of them are living from meal to meal, hoping to be invited to dinner just to eat. A man can't get married living like that. In education, it's just too important. You can't recruit quality teachers without a more secure salary and a solid building. You can build a school on my land downtown near the courthouse, and sure enough, once you open those doors, I'll be teaching from beyond the grave. So what do you think? I want a building as fine as Franklin College in Athens, but not so fine you won't have money left to fund teachers' salaries. I became a wealthy man because I'm a frugal man. I had to be growing up poor in Ireland. Should have seen Crawford back in 1800 when I showed up with cash to buy land and open the general store. Having a head for mathematics, served the teacher as well as the student, I always say. Gave old Finney a run for his money too. Drove him to open a store in Augusta after I opened another one in Jefferson. Still, he was good competition, and we had a bit of fun over a bottle or two of whiskey in our day. Well, let's get on with it. I figure I'm worth about $42,000, give or take, depending on the sale of some land and some goods, and a few collections. So write this down. Parcels of land to be provided to create boys and girls academies, Lexington Town Square. I own 7 lots there. I figure 5 of them should be enough to create the academy and something for the girls eventually too. Make it $8,000 to build the school and to create an endowment to fund teachers' salaries. George, you better take those medicine bottles in the case I keep them in. You can also have your pick of the other bottles in the root cellar. For medicinal purposes, of course. It's the finest Irish whiskey this side of the Erin. Now there's a treasure without any mystery about it. You should be able to find about 25 gallons of good brandy down there too. You boys enjoy it and think of me when you have a swig. Better list my silver watch. See this? I carry it with me always. My dad gave it to me when I left for the New World. Said his dad gave it to him. Kinda wish I could take my broadsword with me though. You never know what kind of varmints you might meet up with in the next world. I always carried it with me whenever I set out to check on my store in Cottington and Jefferson. 40 miles each way that trip was, I tell you. Worse than being a traveling school teacher, being a traveling merchant. You gotta travel all the way to Augusta and Savannah, in between your stores, and all over the county collecting from folks who'd rather not pay out. Keep tending to my horses, George. You know, a man who makes his living on the road comes to care an awful lot about the horse flesh he relies on every day. We need to find a good home for the help, too. Armstrong and Randall, they served me well. You write down I want them to be able to choose their master. Of course, whomever they choose must pay $600 for each of them to the estate. They are worth it. There is one final matter that I need to take care of, and I know you and Crawford know what I'm talking about. It's about little Thomas Hay. Now that his mom's husband is gone, I can't see any reason why I can't provide for him. And yes, I know what they're saying. I'm not saying he is or isn't kin to me, but I plan to settle some land and money on the boy just the same. Make it $2,000 and 200 acres in Indian Creek. The rest of my estate, it should be divided among you, Crawford, and Allison. Best friends this old Irishman could ever have. George, will you see that little Thomas Hay gets my watch? Will you take these notes to Crawford? Tell him to add all the legal fodder so I can sign it? This disease is winning, and I'm running out of time, so tell him to quit politicking and get on with it so I don't die before he gets it done. Well, that should give them enough to ponder. Miraculous where he got all that money, they'll be saying. But maybe they'll also remember the importance of schooling. We teach by what we do, George, and what we do can build a legacy. We just have to know where to put the money.